Okay, here we go once again. Up in Africa, north of Africa, into Morocco area, the Atlas Mountains. That is what I am claiming to be the dragon. That's his head. It runs all the way down here. That's the legs. This is his body. That is his fearsome chest that nothing can penetrate. This is the tail that runs all the way back almost into the Mediterranean, and it flutes out at the end. Let's start with his head and his flaming red eye. Alright, you see that? I don't see any reason anything should be flashing back like that other than a red eye from a dragon. It happens to be right there. Right, there's the dragon's head. That's his nose. Right, this is his neck. Comes right down. That is his throat. That's the flashy stuff and the fluty stuff that runs down a dragon's body and seen in the parades and so forth. This is not an unknown creature. It's known by every culture and everywhere. It's been talked about over and over and over by all of them. Now, it is dead and decaying. This is the runoff of a decaying, decomposing body. So it's on top of the surface of the desert. It hasn't been there forever. I mean, it's not buried. It's not buried. That's on top of the surface. This is its neck right here, and these are the double rows of scales. There's at least double rows. And they are lapped over and over and over. You see it? Boom, 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 boom. Nothing's going to penetrate that. And they're hinged fabulously through this whole thing. And that's that fluty layer that runs down. That's the flashy decoration that runs down the side of their necks and down their bodies. Now, this is the neck again, and this is where obviously breathes and does the eats and all that business. Now also somehow down here, if we go down far enough, this appears to be where his neck was cut, and that's where he bled out. Right? It was a red-blooded creature. Red and black is the blood of red-blooded creatures. The black is what normally is blue in the body, but it turns black when it's exposed to the oxygen. And the red is the same thing. It turns rusty when it gets into the oxygen. It turns yellow and rusty. And this is, any coroner can tell you, and I have pictures, I'm not going to show them to you, but there are pictures that show bodies running off with decay just exactly like this. This is no question that what this is. This doesn't happen for any other reason. This is the decomposing effluent of a decomposing, rotting corpse. And that's his head, and that's his neck, and this is his bold and mighty chest. And it runs down all the way down here across his huge, enormous body that nobody can penetrate or touch with arrows or bronze or steel or any of that stuff. And his tail runs all the way down, and it runs all the way down to here, but over to here we can still see it's quite obvious that his tail is here, and it is the same structure with all of these impenetrable scales. And this is the blood, well, it's bodily fluids that are running off of this decomposing tail, which continues to run all the way out. And the flutiness, you see this flashy, fluty stuff? That is the signature of these dragons, of their like flashy tails and things. But and there was apparently there was a couple different types of dragons. Some of them had pointy tails and some of them had flashy tails. I don't know whether it's a male or female. I'm not going to make any big claims other than the thing is here. It's what it is. Now, what else about this? I actually followed this through, and it has a digestive system of a bird. It's avian. It has a cloaca versus, a separate digestive system. Anyway, this is the neck. So we know it's been cut with a sword. As far as I'm concerned, something cut it, something sharp. And that where it bled out, and that's probably where it died. Now, what about all this business up ahead here? How does he spit all that nasty stuff which is here coming out of his mouth? And what is it, first of all? Well, it's exactly the same stuff as snake venom. I have pictures of that too. And that is what snake venom looks like. All right? And then I said, well, why would he be spitting that all over the desert here? I mean, is he just from dying, like, purging his body? And I said, no, look at what he did. He spit it at this gigantic fish. All right? And that right there is a gigantic fish. And the fish's tail is here. There's a little stuff that's run over it because this was an ocean. Oops, sorry about that. This was an ocean at one time. This whole area was an ocean. And it drained right across here and out into the Atlantic. It's very, very obvious if you look at it. And I believe this is Atlantis. I have videos on that too. Now, this, when it ran off, you can see the pattern of the runoff goes right around that fish. So it ran off, I say, at the same time these creatures fought and died, or very close, because it's going over the top of the fish. All right? It's not under the fish. It's over. Something has run over the top of the fish in that swale of the fish's tail. That's where the fish's tail is here. So it's coming over here and it's swaling down and coming back up, and it dragged around here, but some ran over. So we know that this fish died prior to the runoff of all this into the ocean, or at the exact same time. I think it's the exact same time, but who knows. Now, what did he die from? Well, I think he died because of the dragon spit this dragon stuff on it, the dragon spit. I don't know what you call it, but look what it did. This is the flesh of the fish, and it's pretty good looking flesh. I mean, it's not decomposed hardly at all. And there's the scales. I mean, I don't see a whole lot of runoff from that fish, but I'm sure they died at the same time, quite obviously. Now, that's the stuff that invaded the fish, and that's the fish's fin. So that's my saying. This happened at the same time. They fought together. This ran off. Atlantis was here, collapsed, out into the ocean. The whole shooting match went. Now, so let's see. How did he spit that stuff? Because he says, well, he was breathing smoke and doing all. Well, let's see about that. And I did find that too. If you follow this back up through his throat up into here, you're going to find the injectors, and here they are right here. You see, they're red and green injectors. You see the red ones over here? They come down and they come down and they squirt right in here. That's the red injectors. See them? Right, and where do they go? They go right into the center here. And on the other side is the green injectors. And here they are. See them? You come back here, see them? They're squirting stuff, the green stuff. You see? All the way back here. It's better you get right back here is the best shot of it. See them all squirting in there, the green? Like this. He's pumping green, nasty stuff into there. When that hits this red, nasty stuff over here, coming out of these injectors, bada bing, in the middle, see, it's like a tube of toothpaste, the ones that come out red and green stripes and stuff. Boy, this stuff here, you don't want to brush your teeth with it. Alright, so that came out of his throat, and that's what caused this, and that's what caused that, and that's what caused this to die, and that's what the whole thing is one big fight in the desert. I don't know what else to say. Alright, so our friend Trey was fabulous presentation. Its only thing is it was all real. It wasn't just mythical, hyperbole or metaphor or whatever you want to call it. Just some kind of fantasy. No, this is what I'm looking at is real. I don't know how you see it, but I see it as real. And what I see was written, I see as now credible. And so what if this is credible? I mean, I'm going with everything. And there is nothing that you can show me right now that I could say is, oh, that's crazy. After this, no. And then I got other stuff that makes this look like the other stuff I got, it really is crazy. It makes this look gentle. Because I'm talking about planets being